Hi, it's great to be here at CrossTech Payments 2023. And it's my pleasure in this time to be in the company of Allison Barbosa. Hi, Allison.
Hello, it's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm really excited for the next couple of days.
Great. Allison is a first comer, so it's the first time we have the pleasure of having Allison with us in CrossTech Payments 2023. So before we get to start into what Allison's going to be doing in our conference, let's get to know a little bit more about who Allison Barbosa is. So Allison, tell us a little bit about the experience that you have in the cross-border payment industry, banking industry, women leadership. So you've done it almost everything, right?
Yes, no, thank you, Anna, and it's a pleasure to tell you a little bit about myself. So I've been in the industry for a number of years. I started out in banking, so I started out my career actually in Miami, so I'm going full circle now, being here in Miami again. I was working with Citibank, and I was covering Latin America, so I've covered all facets of banking throughout my career in different capacities in Europe, Asia, Africa, the Middle East, Latin America, US, of course, Canada. Always focused on treasury services, so related to payments, trade finance, liquidity management. And in the last few years, I've been very focused on payments. I've worked in a number of large institutions, including JP Morgan, Citibank, Standard Chartered, and now I'm at RTGS Global. So I'm focused specifically on PVP settlement, which is all related to FX and trades and looking at cross-border across the globe. We're actually a new fintech that's building out the settlement risk platforms. I'm the head of the Americas, so I'm looking after business development and sales, and really focusing on working with banks and FMIs and new payment service operators to really look at how we can partner together to bring in a new type of PVP settlement.
Great. I think that one of the wonderful things that I've seen that through your career is that you've been able to see the evolution, right? We've been through so many different changes, and one of the elements that have been brought into the industry within the last 4 years, it's this fast, evolution and everlasting changing references in order to understand how we do our cross-border payments, and then how we've been evolved in that. I think that's one of the most interesting things that we can come out with your experience. You've seen it all, you've done it all, and due to that, we've also followed you, and then Priscilla, our COO, met you in an amazing event as well, right? So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it was great to be able to meet Priscilla, and I'm so excited to be here. As you said, this is my first time being able to join one of these events, and really getting more on the Latin America piece as well, because that's really what I'm focused on as well. So with Priscilla, I was working at Women in Payments, and I was the Chief Commercial Officer, looking after, again, working with banks and and lots of fintechs across the globe. It's a global organization, and we were looking to bring women and looking at leadership and how we can really help to facilitate women in this industry, and really to focus on and really, lift up women in this industry. So Priscilla and I discussed, and we were going to be on a panel. Unfortunately, I was able to do it last year, but I'm excited to be able to join this year and really and talk about how we can lift each other up, how we can start to be each other's advocates, and focusing too on male allies, right? And diversity. It's not even just about women. It's really about, bringing everybody up, and we all need to be helping each other, and we really need to rely on our male allies as well. So I'm very excited to be doing this.
One of the great things that I can see is that you talked about inclusion, and it's something more deeper than just thinking of how to be part of the industry. So that is going to take me to one of the most important panels that we have today. So later today, we're going to be participating in the Women in Leadership panel. So can you tell us a little bit what are the expectations and topics you think we're going to cover? And I wanted to say just before we get to you that it's one of our pillars. So 2023, it's a year that we want to embrace womanhood, empowered, and also look for the spaces for women to participate in different activities within our company. So let's see, what are the expectations, what are the topics we're going to be discussing discovering, learning in the Women Leadership panel?
Yeah, I'm really excited for the panel. And I think, and as you said, I know you're really focused on bringing women up, particularly in Latin America. And I know you've started recently in Brazil, starting a group. And Priscilla and I have discussed about really bringing that to light for everybody. Because particularly in Latin America, having experienced and been in other types of women's movements and programs, and some of them are company ones, right? So you have your employee programs that are within organizations, but also the ones that we look at, like WNET and some of the other paid tech and women in tech. There are a number of different ones, but we've seen a lot of movement in the U.S. We've seen a lot in Europe. I think Latin America is one that's still growing, and we can really focus on that. So my expectations for today is really to have people understand and have a better idea of, what's out there, what types of resources we can be leveraging, how we can work together, and also bringing it, and again, going back to that male allyship and allyship in general, is really getting other people on board too, because we can only do so much as women, but we need the help of other people as well. So this is something that everybody can get involved in, and I'm really excited to be able to see this as a launching point, right? To be able to start seeing what we can do within the region itself and how we can grow it, and helping other women and giving them opportunities to really excel, and seeing what else is out there to be able to bring and network people together.
Embracing a community, right? Embracing a community that help each other and tries to grow. I love when you say that, being together makes it stronger. Makes our community also to become important and relevant in all of these different activities that go back to how do we improve the processes in which we transfer money from different places. And then, so you're not only participating in the Women Leadership panel, you're also participating as a panelist in the banking track. So I think that's something nice, because you talked about all the experience you have in fintech, technology. So I think it's gonna be great to see how all that, that's union, and that we've always thought that they used to be separated and there was not a very good relationship, but now we're embracing how banks welcome all the fintech efforts. So tell us a little bit about the topics that you're going to cover there, and we can, have that expectation of what we can get later on today.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Anna. And it's great because I'm also really excited about this panel as well, because it's really an opportunity for us to talk about, as you said, how the banks and the fintechs are partnering together, and knowing that they need to focus more on doing that. And I think it's going to be a great conversation, because there's the people on the panel have different perspectives, right? So we've got the people that have been more on the B2C side, the consumer side, and then I'm definitely from where I come from with RTGS Global. We're very focused on PVP settlement. We're focused on B2B, so the larger value payments. And I think we can look at it a lot from how we can look at it from different aspects. And actually just mentioned earlier, which is very opportune, this morning in the session that we were just in, they were talking about how banks are acting more like consumers, and they know that they need to focus more on the consumer and customer experience. So I think that's where banks and fintechs can really partner together and see how they can do more to really help banks get ahead. They have a lot of legacy systems. There's a lot of different nuances that are being looked at now, and I think this is going to be a great conversation, because we'll touch more on how they can work together, what we see as the future, what we're seeing in the changes, because there's so many obstacles, but there's so many opportunities. So it's really finding those challenges and making them into new opportunities, and how we can leverage that.
I agree. So, we have two amazing conversations coming up. If you're watching us now, look for a library of videos and look for that very interesting and dynamic panel, Women in Leadership, as well as a roundtable participating Allison Barbosa. Allison, we feel honored that you're here. I am very thankful that you had the opportunity to talk to us, share about your experience, and I wish this is the first of many more different conferences that we have, the joy of having you with us.
No, me too. Thank you, Anna. and thank you to the CrossTech team. It's been, first of all, I'd like to say that everything is very well organized, and I feel that it's been, just from the onset, a great experience. I'm so looking forward to the next couple of days, and I'm looking forward to the continued partnership. So I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really, really excited to be here.
Great. So let's see each other in the next video.